Now, one of the other nice things I do, and I get to do every once in a while when we do these kind of events, is I get to introduce somebody that I not only work for, but I am also a huge fan of. This guy right here, known lovingly as the next generation of great talk radio, found on Sirius Patriot 144 and XM America Right 166, is the host of the Wilcow Majority, Andrew Wilcow.
You guys wanted a speech in front of great columns? We'll give you one. For one whole year, you've been called racist. You've been called sexist. Somewhere along the way, you were called homophobic. And still, you signed on to websites. You sent money in. You found out dates, you made arrangements, you got babysitters, you took the bus, the train, you drove yourself, and you came to a Tea Party. Why? Not because you're a racist, not because you're a sexist, not because you're a homophobe, because you're a tax-paying American. They say this is about greed. You're greedy. It's all about greed. It's about greed. It's about Wall Street. It's about money. 47% of people in this country that fill out those forms and mail them to Washington don't actually pay taxes. That's right. Paying taxes does not mean filling out a form. It means sending money to Washington and not getting it back. That's paying taxes. We've heard someone prominent in Washington say, time to be patriotic, time to get skin in the game. You know what? You've got a pound of flesh. I want you to note something about our system. While 47% of the population that fills out the tax return doesn't actually pay taxes, the more you give to government, the more government wants to take from you. The less you give to government, the more it wants to give to you. The more you pay, the more they want. The less you pay, the more they give. It's amazing. You work hard. And this is not about the so-called worker. The worker is anybody who works, anybody who provides labor, anybody who sells their labor, be it to an employer, be it to a board of directors, be it to another person, be it to a small business owner. We all have a responsibility to do a job, whatever that job is, and we have an income that we get for that job. When the government tells us that we're not entitled to the lion's share of what we produce, who is? Who is entitled to your income? Who is entitled to your life, your labor, your capital, your property, what it is you get up in the morning to do? You say goodbye to your kids, you say goodbye to your spouse or your partner. This is not about sex. You say goodbye to the people that you love and you go out and you do something for 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day if you're a nurse or a doctor. And the government says, no, 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 no. You haven't given us enough. We have a bureaucracy that needs to be fed. We have a program that needs to be fed. We need more, we need more, we need more, but not from everyone. Everybody has the right to vote, but everybody has the responsibility to contribute if they're going to vote for higher taxes, not the other way around. We have a poison in this country. And that is a poison that comes to us when government says, trust us to deliver largesse. Don't worry who's going to pay for it. Don't worry about where we're going to get the money. Don't worry about what it costs. You have a right to it. Or they have a right to it. Or whoever has a right to it. And when you start to scratch your head and you say, well, you want to give 32 million people this or 20 million people that, and you're already broke, you're already running a structural deficit, where on earth are you getting the money? You want the answer? China! Every single dollar that's allocated to an unfunded program comes not only from a foreign government, it comes with interest. Now, I have a term that I invented on the program, and a great economist named Arthur Laffer asked me if he could borrow it. And I said, "You're Arthur Laffer, the inventor of the Laffer curve. You can borrow whatever you want." It's the zero liability voter. It seems that the bureaucrats in Washington favor a group of people who are willing to vote for any level of spending with no reasonable expectation that they'll be the ones who pay for it. They're zero liability voters. And let me let you in on a little secret. When the non-contributor to the federal tax base outweighs the contributor to the tax base, you can say goodbye to your freedom, because 51% will always vote itself a raise on the backs of 49%.
Tell it. That's right, folks.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And when we try to discuss out-of-control spending, they tell us we don't care about children with birth defects, we don't care about elderly people who need medication, we don't care about our soldiers returning from battle with physical and mental injuries. They tell us that we hate this man because of his race, or we don't like that person because of their immigration status. They never, ever address the simple economic truth that an economy driven by non-contributors isn't an economy. It's a money system that will fail. When money is nothing but a piece of paper with a dead president on it, what is it? They say that healthcare is too expensive, food is too expensive, houses are too expensive. I would like to know what isn't too expensive. It seems in our newfound love affair with wealth redistribution, any price not set by a bureaucrat is wrong. If the product costs too much, the producer is gouging. If it costs too little, the producer is undercutting. If the producer prices the product the same as everybody else, the producer's in collusion. So what kind of pricing you like? Is it supply and demand? Or is it just some evil thing that people do around a boardroom to punish so-called poor people? The reality is,
I really want to get rushed to one of these.
the reality is
Mike, see you up there.
that when you create a group of people and you lull them into a false sense of security, that a government can solve all their problems with other people's money. You have people who are unwilling to address the rights of their neighbors. They say we don't like the poor. It's not about like or dislike, but I gotta tell you, the people who aren't paying the taxes, that keep voting for you to pay higher taxes, really don't like you. If they did, they would say, hey, wait a second, my neighbor worked really hard. This isn't fair to my neighbor. But they say to themselves, my neighbor can afford it, so I deserve more. Where are they getting that from? Where is it coming from? Before I wrap up, I want to thank each and every one of you who came out here, who made a sign, who gave up time at work or with family to come here and stand at this intersection and say, we have paid enough and we're not seeing the return on our investment. And I want to thank all the New York City police officers who are out here making sure that we are the safest but most civil-minded organization. And I want to finish with this, and I need some help. I'm going to say we're right. You're going to say they're wrong. So I need some help. Are you ready? We'll try this one time. We're right. They're wrong. We're right. They're wrong. We're right. They're wrong. And that's the end of the story.
But it's not the end of the rally.